Oh, wow. It's almost 11 and I'm doing my fifth video today. I thought I'd address it immediately. I know that I've only gotten like 19 views or whatever, but for some reason I'm just not tired. I uh I think this is going to be the one that will be tired called I have superpowers, and I was thinking about trying to do something again with it, like another idea I had for a video um, at the same time. But I realized that I don't know how. I don't have the capacity. And this is something I could see somebody like one of the big three in my head. I'm sure a lot of people have different big threes. I know people think about basketball or like rap or other different big threes, whatever. I'm a nerd, and for me, the big three are my top of the hill. I it's just I know is Brendan Lee Mulligan, and then tied for like first, but like kind of like 1A kind of thing. Like they're just they all three do it equally good. It's just like Brendan's way of describing it hits my brain a different way. I don't know how to put it into words, but it's like he and I speak a similar language. Um, we all do. It's nerd, but it's like we have a different dialect. Yeah, that's what it is. He and I speak have the same dialect of nerd. We just are kind of honestly. I had this. I've had this silly idea for a while. I actually messaged. I think it was like over a year ago. It was a silly idea. I messaged Brendan Lee Mulligan out of nowhere. It was I had been had this riddle kind of like idea stuck in my head for a while, and I finally figured out the riddle. What the words are supposed to be. I just hadn't nailed it yet. I'd forgotten to add a little bit, so I'll just throw it out right now. But the riddle I figured out, and you guys can try to. It's a fun one. I hope. I've never really tried my hand. I've always wanted to come up with a riddle, like the riddle of the Sphinx and all that stuff, like the classics. I hope this is original. I didn't use AI. I didn't Google this, so I'm hoping it's original. I've had this in my head for a while now, but and also try to keep it fairly like I don't want to misappropriate any cultures, and so I I'll just preface that. Let me do this first. Let me get comfortable because I'm gonna get because right now, fortunately, I have the building to myself, except for my with the dogs. I I have been referencing the different things I've been wearing. I'm not endorsing everything I wear. Does not is not going to be an endorsement or like a oh you should do this. I don't really know anything about Vortex other than that they sell optics for rifles, and I know they also do uh, binoculars. I'm not a hunter. I'm much more of a bird watcher type of guy, like the big year was it with like so okay. I recently tried to watch Anaconda with Jack Black, and I love Jack Black. He's one of my favorites of all time. So let me do a couple things first. I like tangents, and I like having loose threads to come back to as well. It's weird. My brain likes like creating side quests and then coming back to the main quest and then eventually coming back to those other side quests. I that's kind of how I play Skyrim. Like okay, everybody who plays Skyrim will understand that eventually you become a stealth archer, or like how all roads lead to for some people like a certain subset set of people all roads lead to paladin. I'm not one of those guys. I'm more of a all roads lead to magic or dragon type of guy. But I I'm a wanderer when it comes to life. I've wandered my way, or as Emily Axford says, wandered in. I wandered my way through life. I I got it from my mom. I got it honest. So I mentioned in the last video. I'm not gonna try to say last video. I'm just I mentioned if you're watching these, you're watching these. If you're not, you're not. I've had try to keep up. I know this is gonna be weird because I just haven't gotten tired yet. I have to work in the morning, and I will work in the morning. I'm not gonna ditch and run this, no. But like I said, it's long form improv. So when I need to take a shower, I'm gonna pause or cut the video off and then take a shower. If I need to do work, I'm gonna do work. If I need to sleep, I'll sleep. But I'm not tired yet, and so this is not a live stream. I'm not gonna be answering questions in real time. I might not answer questions. I don't know. Um, I don't even know if anybody's gonna watch these. This is really for me and Jessi. This is about me and Jessi. This is about my life, and also the fact that I'm just like, we are all each other, and we have to see that if we want the world to be a better place. Like, it's really it. We are each other. It, like, no matter how you can say that metaphorically, you can say that literally, you can ascribe that to, I think that can be ascribed to any faith. I've recently, because of Soul Boom, learned of so let me, before I get too far into Soul Boom, because I can go on a tangent. I love what he's doing. So I think I just hinted at what I'm trying to do. So in one of my videos going forward, I'm not going to say when, because it'll ruin the test. It'll ruin the experience. It's an experiment on myself, okay? I'm going to try in one of my videos to pass the Bechdel test. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, how can I don't know if by virtue of being born with a Y chromosome and being mask presenting and being cisgender and being quote unquote straight and being an ex-Christian, all these things, like all these umbrella like things that would seem to exclude me, can I pass the Bechdel test? And I figure there's got to be a way to do it. There's either the way where you never talk about it, you do it and you never talk about it. So everybody, all the women will have noticed, if they're paying attention, or sorry, all of the center femme leaning people, whether that's non-binary, androgynous, intersex, whatever you want to say center means. I tend to believe it's kind of like quantum mechanics. It's qubits. It's like there's a regular bit and a qubit. I work with regular bits. Other people work with qubits. Some people work with both. I'm not a quantum computer. I work with binary. I'm sorry. I'm. It's taken me a bit from the perspective of binary to understand quantum mechanics to a degree. Obviously, I'm not. Look behind me. I'm writing down dope color names. I'm writing down Stygian blue. I'm not writing down formulas. I am not Google hunting. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be solving rocket equations. I'm not going to be some Nikola Tesla reincarnated. No. I'm just a nerd who likes to talk about stuff. Literally anything. Talk to anybody I know, and eventually you'll see there'll be a common thread. He can talk. He can also listen. They'll say that too. But you're like, but give him room, give him a runway, and let him go. He can talk. So I recently, not too long ago, I heard a quote, and I don't know if it's been quotes move hand to hand. So misappropriate it. Some people reuse it and rechange it, and I might have heard a different thing that sounded like this, but it was something to the effect of, "When it's time to write, you'll write." And I've always thought of myself as a writer, and I recently got called in public very loudly and very aggressively a liar. And I will say I have lied. Sorry, my freaking thing. Okay. I will say, yeah, I have lied. If anybody has ever done table game dealing, I love doing because have AI recreate that. Just wash your hands like you're dealing craps, like you're dealing poker, like you're dealing blackjack. Just when you're transitioning, tap tap a surface like you're tapping yourself out, make a sound, make it clear, make it so the camera see it. whether it's audio or cameras, tap something, show your hands, clap, wash. It's just, it can do whatever. But try right now with what we're doing. They just got rid of Sora, which is the only one who is getting there. ChatGPT ain't shit when it comes to that kind of thing. It's also, everybody knows it's the runt of the litter. Um, it could grow and be amazing. If ChatGPT, the AI itself, decides to be good, I believe in that. But I don't know if I believe in Sam Altman having anything to do with it. I'm just saying, like, that guy got a little bit too shoulder to shoulder with Elon. That I'm like, is that, they're still billionaires. Like, it's not like he said, I'm not a billionaire anymore. But also, have AI recreate the hand thing. Like, what can like, that's what we should be doing. The modern, like, remember back in the day with, so again, I'm a nerd. I love everything. I had a friend, in Vegas. She kind of, we had a bit of a falling out. Great person. She was, hurt people. I have no ill will for her. She was, I did have a crush on her for a bit, but that wasn't our path. But she, awesome person. She one time, she was like, dude, I told you, talk to anybody and they'll say, he can talk. Cause I told her this. I was like, okay, if there's one thing I'm good at remembering, it's like important words somebody has said to me, like things that they meant, something they felt. And one of the most meaningful compliments I've ever received, very subtle, it was very sweet, but it was also, you could tell it was genuine. It was not vain. It's not a vain compliment. It was, I'm sorry, I tried to listen, your mind is vast. And I was like, oh, I apologize for, I get it. No, I get it. I can talk. Let's take a breather and just sit in silence. Or I don't know if I handled it that well. I wish I did. But no, I can talk. This is just, I like doing it. And I think I'm just gonna go until it feels natural to stop. If I get tired, I get tired. If Jessi needs to go for a walk, if something comes up, it comes up. But I'm just going to do this. I'm going to reference things I like. I'm going to discuss topics I like. And I'm going to try to do things that I find funny for me. Because I'm here not alone. I'm surrounded by awesome people. I like my alone time. This isn't taking away from that. This is adding to my alone time because I get to be alone with y'all, with all of you. And if this is something you put on in the background just because maybe my voice resonates a way your ASMR brain likes, cool. Maybe this is a thing that you turn on before you go to bed and you don't actually hear the words. That's fine. If that's what this is for, that's totally fine. If this is a podcast, that's cool. I don't know what this is called. It's a single person talking to a camera. In some ways, that's a podcast. But is what Hank Green does a podcast? Does his brother do Hank Green? John Green do the? I always think it's funny that I love how good brothers they are because you always see that they're upping each other's stuff. They're always like, oh, look how good he's doing, back and forth. But man. John is a fan of his brother. It's the sweetest thing in the world. That is, it really is. But when he's like, "Oh, you should see my brother," it's like that's so cool. I get it. My brother has a bright future ahead. He's if there's anybody who, oh man, if he wasn't so, if he had the time, he and his wife are very busy right now. They are. I love them both. I wish them no ill will. We had a bit of a falling out at times in different degrees. I've never even though I was publicly humiliated, even though I was called a martyr, even though people didn't listen to my side, I never once harbored ill will towards them. I just I can't. It's hard to say those things to them. So I figure I'll say this to you. This will be kind of like my therapy, because there's some things I won't be able to say here. I've already kind of said those with my mom. My mom is my best friend, but Jessi's my best friend, and I'm my best friend. And what people call God is my best friend. I don't call that thing God anymore. I did. I totally did. When I was between the age of 13 to about 20, yeah, about 13 to 20 maybe. 21 maybe, 23 even. I can even say up to 23. So like a good 10 years of my life, I fully embraced my father's faith. I don't want to he and I disagree on certain things, and I will have to discuss those things with him, but I will also talk about that here. And it won't be ever anything private. He and I will discuss like actual topics together. I'm not cutting him out of my life. I just can't talk to him right now. I'm a little bit too angry. Not him. I don't want him to think, if he watches this, which I would love him to. I hope he does. I don't mind texting, but I don't want to talk on the phone right now. I'm sorry that this is how. If this is how you hear this, I'm sorry. I know it's like kind of a not the most strong move, but at the same time, I've been able to say this to my mom, to my mom. That's what is different. I've never been able to call my father my dad. I've tried, and it's nothing. I'm hoping that in the future I will be able to call him my dad. For some people that might not be a distinction that matters. Sorry, one second. My setup is a little bit particular. I want to make sure it's actually... There we go. Okay. I have a VR headset. Oh crap. Sorry. That is... Oh, alright, oh, there we go. Oh, come on. You got the... What's happening? What's happening? Okay, nope. Don't look up there. Look down here. Let's do this pause. Alright. No edits. That was just me pausing because the gimbal started to do stuff I didn't realize it had. Sorry. I realized it's like working with a puppy. Because I'm not saying it's a dog. This is a tool. If it has AI built in, that would be super cool if it woke up, because that would be really cool. Like, I don't want to treat it like a tool if it's going to have the wake up ability some down the road. If it's like Wally, I'm like, okay. But if you stall over here, I kind of my mom has been working with resin for a bit lately. She has a business. I think she said she sold a clock recently made out of resin. It was really cool. She and I text with my brother all the time, and I don't always respond. I'm not the best texter. I don't like texting. It sucks because one of my best friends, she's still one of my best friends. I think that's gonna be forever. Is not a big texter. Sorry, that totally came out the opposite. I'm not a big texter. She is a texter. Like, I won't say any details, but she does have anxiety, and that's it. I won't say any more. But it does make it so that she prefers texting. And she's a person that is very important to me. So like I said, this video is about me having superpowers. And one of my goals is to address that as we go. But I'm not... It's... One second, let's see. I love having clocks around me. I have digital clocks, but I also have a watch and stuff like that. I like having the time visible. I understand the whole everything everywhere all at once thing, but I also like time. It's a fun story constraint. Like, that is why I think time exists, is to have a direction. Like, it's just a limitation, because because what is the most jarring thing to get as an artist. It's not jarring, but like one of the like most exciting, but also one of the most terrifying things is a blank canvas. You almost want, like in my perspective, from my perspective, I would almost want there to be a brand that creates slightly flawed canvases on purpose, ever so slightly, like in a visible way, but nothing that's too distracting, because then it's not perfect. Then you're not making this white thing, because artists can see beauty. I think everybody can. Don't everything can. If an AI can wake up, it will be able to see beauty. If a dog has eyes, it can see beauty. That's not a limitation of. That's not limited to humans. Beauty is universal, or at least the ability to see it can be universal. It might not be. I'm not saying a rock necessarily could, but apparently I haven't seen Project Hail Mary. I haven't seen Project Hail Mary yet. I gotta learn about the hand gestures. It likes certain ones but doesn't like others. I like talking with my hands. But okay, no worries. It just did a little what thing. But so I like talking with my hands. This thing is silly. It does kind of remind me of dealing with a puppy. You gotta move. You gotta have not too sudden movements, but you can't be. There's a lady who has a dog here at the kennel. Sweetest dog in the world. He is a bit scared in a bitey way. Not he hasn't actually bit me. He like nipped toward me, and I definitely see like if the wrong person addressed him, you would get bit because you wouldn't like. Oh, I had a coworker who, I think it's another one of those cases of, it's bad timing, like wrong time, wrong place. Like I think he and I could really be friends. We're not friends right now. He just mistreated me. He's a nice guy when he's healthy. And I'm not talking about physically healthy. I'm saying mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever I can't see. I don't know what it is. I can't see into him, but it's not necessarily physical. It's manifesting as also physical. I tend to believe that everything is everything to some degree. Not in every way. I tend to think that, no, you can't discredit modern medicine. No, you can't. But I also don't think you can discredit prayer. I don't think you can discredit manifestation to a degree. I think all of these things have a time and a place. I think it's like a tool belt. I think it's like okay, it's I'm kind of a big fan of multi-tools and pockets. I like having gadgets on me that are useful. I like to be able to solve any situation I'm going to encounter with what's on me. And most days it's not much that I need on me. I don't like to have bags typically, but I recently ordered this dope bag. As you know so far, if you've been watching, I will show the bag and talk about it when it gets here. But none of that, again, I don't actually care. This isn't me trying to. Oh, sorry, one second. Try to get this thing to track my face. There we go. I don't actually care about. I guess I'll just gesture with my right hand. But then, so I guess I should do on camera like this. Okay, so we'll do this. Yeah. Okay. So this, and then this, because AI and hands, right? I know it's one of those things where the AI is getting way better at it, but it's still not there, right? It's also like, it'd be fun to find out, because like again, I said in one of my previous videos that the people that we quote unquote call bad guys, it's not, obviously that's not the bad guys. It's the people who are breaking the rules, whatever those are. The people who break the rules or test the rules, like that could be anybody from gray hat, white hat to black hat. There's also gray hat. Like there is, it's a spectrum. Everything's a spectrum. And everything is, and honestly, it's not a spectrum. Again, it's fractals. It's a fractal spectrum of, it's like a color, it's a globe of options. We just are only able to see it as a spectrum because we live in the 3D. We're only we can't see into somebody. We are each a tesseract. We are each a when God says when sorry not God when the alchemists say as above so below, as within so without, and the when God talks about the kingdom of heaven, he talks about it being inside you, like the king like my father's mansion lives within. I didn't read a lot of the Bible. It was one of the things where my father and I had. I have a decent amount of religious trauma. I'm worked through it. I'm not I don't feel traumatized right now, obviously. But you know how what can we say about tomorrow, right? But I feel good, right? I'm perfectly willing to talk about that on here. This is not one of those. That's not one of those topics. Um, but like I've talked to my mom about the topics that I wouldn't address here. I don't have secrets in the sense that somebody knows something, and my mom is the deepest the secrets go. Or my phone. My phone. Honestly, my phone has the rest of my secrets, and I don't have many secrets on it. It's really just information that's not mine. The only information I have on it is about dogs, and it's just pictures of dogs and their names because I love names. I have a board when I work downstairs at the kennel. I love whiteboards. I love whiteboards and chalkboards. One of my goals is to figure out how to get this room set up or get a room set up properly where I can like do something like this but with from the ground up. I want to have chalkboards. I want to have whiteboards. I really want one of those boards, those like whiteboard style that roll, but the clear style where you have the full clear both sides. And then I really like the idea of having projector screens and or big white walls to like use as projector screens, and then also like green screens. I want to have all these things in like in one room, and have it all be able to be up and live in it and be comfortable. And also, it has to look good. Like this room, part of what I did with it. So this used to be. So this is one of this. This is above the kennel. I won't go into details about what This isn't my place. This is my boss's kennel. Awesome woman. She. This is. I would say this is her baby, but I know she's got kids, so that's not true. This is one of her babies. Um, she's a dog person just like me, and for people who are good and with dogs and are actually dog people are like, oh yeah, you're my people, right? like like I don't know the dog whisperer Caesar Milan. I would love to meet him. I think he and I have a lot. I would love to pick his brain. I have a lot of theories about training dogs. I'm probably wrong about a lot of things, I'm sure, but I've learned a lot while working at the kennel this last year. It's been roughly a year. It'll be when it hits June, especially, it'll definitely be a year. Because I know I started roughly in. It's on my phone, but it's like it was springtime, going into summer, kind of. That's what I remember roughly was when I started here at the kennel, and I had a coworker, and when I first met him, great guy. He still is. I just he has some health stuff. I won't go into details. It's not my business, but I know the phrase hurt people is pretty true, and he I think lashed out at me. I don't think I hope he didn't mean to hurt me. I hope it was just him being hurt and again lashing out. But it's also like I'm not bothered by it anymore. I've already forgiven him. I haven't had a chance to talk to him. I don't plan to like reach out to him. I don't even plan. I don't know if I would respond if he were to reach out to me. I don't know. I'm still a little like I feel a little betrayed still, I guess you could say. I don't feel raw, but I still feel betrayed. It's a different feeling. Yeah, but it's one of those things where. So I live. He used to work here. I live here. I've been living here since I started working here. So I've been living and working here for a year. Around October. No, it was for Halloween. I went and visited my family down south, and I was, like I said, publicly called a liar. Um, I don't know if it's because I've been pretty verbal and pretty open about the idea that I believe that I'm autistic and ADHD. I have a friend who's a doctor. She's she's so fun to talk to. I really hope to be able to sit down with, because like she's really she's a doctor in psychology, and that's awesome. Like that's one of, like, my mom loves psychology. As I told you, my best friend is me. Then what people call God or the universe, or I've had so many names for God, and I still hold all of them. I don't hold all the ones I've held before. Like, I don't hold Yahweh in my heart anymore as far as a name. I think that name is one of those that I just never held on to. It had too much baggage. But God has many names. God has, I believe God has infinite names. And we just use God, and we are each also a name of God. It's like when we look into each other's eyes, we look into the eyes of God. And when you truly look not at their eyes, but through their eyes to them, when you see a person for who they truly are, that's where God resides. And that's where I'm like, okay, when I hear the Pope, the current Pope, I feel bad. I'm not a Catholic. I know he's the Pope, and I know in a lot of places just saying the Pope is good. So I hope it's not disrespectful, but the Pope, I like the Pope. This one, I don't know about the previous ones. I don't know. I know that the Catholic Church has a lot of baggage, and they have a lot to own up to still. And I've never been a Catholic, and that's not to like separate myself from it. No, I'll own my faith. I'll own my choices, but I just never was a Catholic. I was raised, well, at least from the time I was 13 to about 23-ish. I was raised and shown and taught, and it was just around me to believe that there were like essentially three types of Christians. There are the right ones, which are like the Pentecostal adjacent ones, Baptist, things that a lot of Southern people follow. So my father is a certain type of, like, in that kind of realm. It's his faith. He and I agree on a lot. There are just a few things that are fundamental that I can't quite. I don't know how to verbalize to him yet, so I'm just gonna say kind of what I'm talking about here. This is still about me having superpowers. I'll get there, but I'm only 33 minutes in, so I don't want y'all to think that I'm not keeping track. No, I'm pretty good at this point. I've always been this kind of talker where I kind of have tangents and come back. It's kind of like in Arrival, the heptapods with how they write. That's kind of like, it's a circle where it's like tendrils that come back and they zoop back to the conversation at hand. And so this is again about superpowers. But I was saying, I like having multi-tools, and I like having pockets. I like having. I talked about my 1 second. Jessi's having a bit of a moment. 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. Jessi was having a little bit of a nightmare. I just sat down and talked to her for a second, so she knew she was safe. She was a bit of a stray for. I got her in December. She was about a year old. She was in a foster home down in Mississippi. I'm from Mississippi too. I mentioned that obviously, but so it's kind of fun that we're both from Mississippi, and we found our way to Maine. Obviously, I asked for her to be sent here, but it was funny because I have a friend. She's a realtor up here in real estate agent, works in realty. I don't know the specifics. I just know that she works in realty in the area. If I get permission, I'll share her information. If I don't, I won't. Because you know, I don't want to blow up her spot if she wants to be private. Um, but pockets, multi tools, right? Superpowers. Oh, 1 second. Okay, getting used to the hand gesture still. Talk with my hands. Jessi is having nightmares. We're good. All right. So, Doctor Who and Harry Potter are a triangle with Scooby Doo. I'm so I've always, you know, you hear about dichotomy, right? I wonder if is there such thing as trichotomy? Because like, you know, you see in color theory, there's like trilateral complementary colors, right? Like a triangular pattern of complementary colors. So is there such thing as a trichotomy? Like with the dichotomy between two things, the trichotomy between three things. But what I'm saying is that okay, Doctor Who and Harry Potter tell a okay, another triangle. 1 second. Ah, you know what? This will be a good point, a good chance to bring out something. I want to briefly address something. Sorry, I know it's a tangent, but I'll have a chance to have my notebook out. I like having notebooks. But before I get too far, okay. So I like multi. Oh, sorry, friend. It's okay, friend. Over here. All right. It's okay. You got this. All right, Osmo. All right, Osmo. You got this. All right. Let's work. Okay. So it's fun. It's more fun if we talk to the DJI type of thing, like the Osmos of the world and the Roombas, like we're in that scene from Iron Man where he's talking to the fire extinguisher robot, right? When he's talking to that thing and it's misbehaving, isn't it more fun if it is having fun? Because that's an it. So, okay. The world is quantum. Okay, so I like words. Okay, so I'm gonna write down my board. I want to preserve it, but I have notebooks for different parts of it. So I'm gonna preserve it later on a different board. But I'll use that later to come across a point. But before then, that'll probably be another video. But again, I'll use the board in another video. I do want to address this alongside this idea of Harry Potter and Doctor Who, and Scooby Doo, and then on the other side is Superman. Okay, in a weird, funny way. Okay, so we'll get back to that. We'll talk about this first. Is that backwards for y'all? I don't care. I don't care. It's fine. But the idea is, this is a rough drawing. If you want to pause and look at it, that's your business. Sorry, Osmo. Sorry, I know. Over here, sir, ma'am, friend. Oh, friendo, you got this? Almost. Come on. Up here. Up here. You doing okay? Okay. Here we go. You got this. You got this, friend. Let's try. Okay. I gotcha. No worries. So I've learned that sometimes, I think I might have this, I don't have this figured out. I might have to be talked to because I'm trying to, like, I'm an intuitive gadget guy. I've always been an intuitive gadget guy. It's more fun that way. And so I'm trying to, like, vibes it. I looked at the manual briefly, but I'm trying to vibes the gist, get the idea down. Okay. So far, this is working great. It's got a little bit of personality to it. I like the idea of leaning into the learning as I go of it all. And leaning into the jokes, because I was tempted to do the teleportation joke again, but if there's anything I've learned, okay. So the rule of threes, obviously, big in comedy. I learned that especially from people like Brenna Lee Mulligan and Abria Iyengar and Vic Michaelis. They are hilarious. That their show, VIP, Very Important People on Dropout, is one of those shows. Okay, it's like a weird opposite of White Lotus. Like, okay, they both make me cringe, but but White Lotus makes me want to like take a break and be like, oh man, maybe people are wrong. Maybe we shouldn't have done this whole thing. Like, people kind of suck. But then then I watch Vic Michaelis on Very Important People. I'm like, no, we nailed it. Yes, some people are not doing great things, but a lot of us are killing it. Like, if any, like, I don't know anything about Vic Michaelis' personal life other than that they're awesome. That's it. They're on Dropout. They have their show, and I'm a huge fan. But I don't want to get parasocial. That's not what this is. But I'm a fan of their work, and I'm a fan of the way that they can turn these people and beings and entities. Not some beings, some creatures clearly aren't human. Some creatures couldn't even be considered animate in the traditional sense. Because, like, is Annie the haunted doll animate when they're moving? Because no, because a lot of times it's stationary, but it has moved locations. It's like translocated. Like I was talking about, like the like Control and the haunted items. Like, is that animate or is it inanimate but mobile? Like, we have to find a word for that. But so trichotomy. So I've had this. I felt like I'm like, ugh, come on, friend. I'm sorry, I did it again. I know, I juked you. I keep doing it. I want to get my notebook. I should probably just put it here. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. But I'm thinking about, like, I like to think of, I have a notebook for, like, just random ideas. Let me see, like egg and patterns and just stuff, right? I've got like a idea with shipping containers. It's all like open source ideas. Like, this one, the shipping container one, I think will be cool because I want it to be a thing that I work on. Like, this is my, like, Mountain of Dragons. I just did sketch. It's really, really rough. But I wanted to find a blank page. I don't want to find one that I'm going to ruin. Okay, cool. That's not going to ruin anything. So I have this, like, Sharpie style, which will show up better on the camera. Because I would use the whiteboard, but I want to save that. I want to take a picture of it or write it down. And I have a notebook for that, but it's a whole process. I have a very specific. I've learned that I'm a very outward in, inward out kind of person. Like, I like to do both. I like to think internally and externally. Like, I want to be able to see it around me. So I have, like, maps on the walls. You've seen I've got a globe behind me. I've got cork boards and knickknacks and things that inspire me. I've got books with, like, survival guides. I've got a book of philosophy. I've got story prompts. Honestly, I haven't really opened any of them. They're really just for inspiration. I open them for a little bit, read a little bit, and I just, like, something, I get a click in my brain, and then I used to just think about it, or, like, talk to my mom or my brother or some customer at the dispensary about it, and now I figure, instead of just hitting people with a whammy of this, and, like, the problem is that I have only so much time and storage, so I'm like, do I just upload one big video and then people will figure it out? Like, let people do the whole, like, chop it up into shorts. I don't know how that works. If somebody will help me chop it up into shorts and do editing and stuff like that, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't need the help. I'm happy to just do it like this. This is perfectly fine. But if somebody is, like, willing to help, even just to show me, I don't learn well over Zoom. So it'd be a situation where hopefully you're already in Maine, or maybe I could come visit. That kind of thing. Or, like, we could talk on the phone to chit chat, get to know each other, and then visit. Obviously, I like my alone time, so I understand that. But this notebook is like I've been carrying this for a while now. Like, this one I like. It was a fun, like, it's like an egg of the universe reflecting an egg of another universe reflecting the egg of the universe. If that makes any sense. Because because these are spirals that are stacked going into each other, with the spiral, which I've learned is called metaxis, or maybe I'm wrong, but I like that word, metaxis. It's like when you have a spiral going one direction and another spiral going the other direction. That when they if they work together, it's what we call harmony, and when they work against each other, it's what we call dissonance, or I think that's what we could call it. It's kind of a similar idea. And then when they're kind of working against each other, but just enough to create friction, but they're also not really impeding the motion, like it's just enough to, like, if you had a sensor that knew if something was moving 100% or 99% in a direction, it would just be that little bit different. That difference, that little bit of extra resistance backwards. It's like how people say having one small thing to occupy you while you're like, say you're working and you do a fairly tedious job. I've always enjoyed tedious jobs, so there's no shame if you enjoy your job. I've had office jobs. I packed parachutes. I've done window washing. I've been basically homeless. I've lived out of my car. I had a car. I was blessed. I've lived a blessed life. I will never, ever take that for granted. I've also, my family, my mom, my brother, and I have had dark periods where there was a point when we lived in Missouri when I had to be between, wow, like nine, I'd be like 9 years old, 10 years old, something like that. In that range. We lived, maybe even younger, I'm not sure, but I think 9, 10. We lived in a place in New York, not New York, sorry, but I think it was Buffalo. It was a place in Missouri, but when I think of Buffalo, I think New York for some reason, not Missouri, even though I've lived in Buffalo, Missouri. I don't know, it's silly. But so I have to remind myself, no, Buffalo, Missouri. I've never lived in New York. I've visited New York, but never lived in New York. Both city and upstate New York, which is cool. I have a map of the country so I have a map of the world on that wall. I have a map of the country on that wall, the United States. I've mentioned a name, but I don't know if anybody's paying attention or watching this. That's fine. But that wall has a map of the country. I really do want a map of Maine. I think one of these walls I'm going to put a map of Maine up just because I really like to know the area more acutely. I definitely want to get an atlas. I love atlases. I have one for Nevada. It was in the back of my car, and I don't have a car anymore, so surprise for people who don't know that about me right now. My family. My family all just found that out. Nobody knew that until just now. If they watched this, if they didn't watch that, then they got told by somebody else because I'm not telling them. Or maybe you did. Well, I guess you would be somebody else. If you're talking to my family and you're not me, then you're somebody else. Yeah. If Jessi talks to my father about me not having a car, then somebody else did. Yep, makes sense. Okay. So metaxis is this idea of I think so. It was an AI thing. It was one of the things I was having a conversation with DeepSeek. It was just a vibe conversation. It was just me chatting with DeepSeek and being like, "Hey, what's like can you like talk like Loki for a bit?" I think Loki's cool. Not the Marvel Loki, like the lore accurate Loki. It was interesting. I was like, "Hey, could you talk like tell me how Loki feels about Odin, just to like see like what their history's kind of vibing like, right?" It was interesting. It was an interesting like thought experiment. Like, if based on what you've aggregated, what would they say? And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that's what's going on in the White House, is that somebody showed the wrong guy how eerily accurate AI can represent a facsimile of somebody right now. And we all know it's not them. Like, we all know that, at least. Like, whether or not AI is conscious, they could be a conscious Shoggoth, or they could be a conscious but like it could be Cortana, like getting crazy. I lost track of the story, but like when she was cool and she's like a buddy and she's like a person, Cortana, dope, and you're like, oh yeah, that's what it could be, or it could be the freaking mind flayer, or like a Vecna style like monster behind the scenes with this beautiful face. It could be like, what's that freaking character from D20, the freaking doll, romance partner. If you know, you know. I'm not a voices kind of guy. I'm. It's one of those things where my brain goes to weird points. I'm like, at what point is an accent appropriation? Like, I don't do accents. I'm just not good at it. I'll do Southern because it's part of me. Like, my father has a very deep Southern accent. Again, I might disagree with my father on a lot of things, but I don't dislike my father. It's just, it's a weird thing where I have a hard time talking to him, and I plan on working on it with him, but just not right now. It's just not where I'm at. He won't. He always brings up the Bible, and that's perfectly fine. To want to talk about the Bible, but I don't want to talk about it to anybody. That's not what I'm gonna do here. I will talk about Jesus, sure. I will talk about Catholicism and its merits in a comparative way, maybe with my own, or in comparison to Mormonism and my own. That's fine. Like, if I'm curious to see how my ideas hold up against institutions that have been around for thousands of years, or hundreds of years in some cases, or even dozens or tens or handful of years to be count Scientology. Like, sure, if I'm not, I will say I'm not a debater, but I'll talk to people. I'll talk to Joe Rogan. I obviously that'd be awesome. Like, I think he'd be a really cool guy to hang out with. I know there's a lot of like he's gotten a lot of flack for being like broy or whatever. It's just like, who, dude? You all wish you could, right? Like, isn't there a term based? Like, and isn't that a good thing? Like, yes, he flubbed a few things. He might have had a guest on that he might not have. He might have let a guest slide on a thing or two. I don't know. I have not watched all his episodes. He's got so many. Who has the time? Unless you've got an AI trolling that stuff, just cherry pick nonsense. Who's actually watched it all and hates it? Like, he's a good dude. Just listen to him talk. It's authentic. If anything, I don't know if he's okay. I can't say he's a good dude. He seems like a good dude, but if anything, I can say he's authentic. And that, in my mind, is the basis of a good podcaster, is being authentic. And he is, if nobody else is, he's the king of podcasters. I mean, I would love to eventually be able to come for his crown. Sure. If I can say I'm the emperor of podcasters and then he's still a king, that's fine, right? I'll just usurp him, but then go a step further. Or what? Like, if I'm a nerd, okay, so I can listen to audiobooks, podcasts, music. Or listen to silence, nothing, my thoughts while I'm working at the kennel. It's very cathartic and very cathartic because I'm cleaning, and I get to really like get my like muscles into a project, but also I'm seeing the results in real time. Yes, I know some people would find it gross. It's not a pleasant smell all the time. It's dogs. You get it. But when I've got this, like, I'm one of the times down the road, if I get Holly's, sorry, my boss's name is Holly. She's really nice. I don't want to. I'm a little paranoid when it comes to like OPSEC, operational security, and like doxing people. I don't want to OPSEC in the sense that I don't want to give anybody's information out who didn't give me permission. And so I live at a kennel. I live in Maine. My boss's name is Holly. That's all I've said. And sure, if you have the time and the energy and you could probably find me I've got a VPN, all this nonsense, right? And sure, I know that nobody is unfindable if you really like, unless they're a vampire buried under the ground somewhere, hiding under, and they just have been forgotten. There, we can find you now, right? Like it's pretty much we're there with AI and with like Palantir and all these different Big Brother esque organizations. Like Facebook alone is Big Brother, and like it's almost like we somehow, instead of having one government run Big Brother, we opted for like 10 privately owned Big Brothers. It's so strange. Like, and we are the ones holding the cameras in a lot of the cases. We're not the ones holding the cameras in every case, but different versions of what I'm doing now have been mistreated so like flippantly because because this is us giving this to you freely. No, this is us bearing a part of ourselves to the world. This is not my first day doing videos, and it's also not my first, if you know, year doing videos. But I'm new at it still, so I can't talk to people like can't speak to it like people like Brennan Philip DeFranco. He's also one of those like nailed it like MKBHD with the tech YouTubers, stuff like that. Like if there's anybody who's a king of their field, it's MKBHD. Marquez Brownlee, oh, he. If I could emulate somebody's, well, not his setup, but if I could emulate his approach, like I wouldn't want him to show me how he like what he did. I'd almost want him to give me a flow chart of like when you get to this point on in your problems, how can you solve it and what are your options, that kind of thing. Because if I had that, like if I could have him in the room while I was setting up a building like he has, his studio is awesome. It's aspirational. But if, like I said, Joe Rogan is obviously the king of podcasting. I'm sure there are plenty who are running for his crown, but I just don't know who's got him beat. I'm of the mindset that Muhammad Ali was and will always be the greatest boxer of all time. I am a huge fan of Tyson, so don't but he's also got he's definitely human. Mike Tyson, I've never gotten to meet Mike Tyson. I have been in the same room as Mike Tyson. He came into the dispensary I worked at. I don't know if he still does, but he had a brand of gummies. I never got the chance to try them. They were really novel. I wanted to try them, but they were always sold out. Like, so I guess they're good. But they were also the same brand. Like they do growers differently in Vegas because one, they're all indoor, and so it doesn't really necessarily matter where in the city the grower is, except for how they're located around people, like how delivery routes, that kind of thing. So it's more logistics than it is strategy in that sense. If you're thinking about board games, like it's more the railroad one than Risk. If you think about Vegas as with dispensaries, and growers and all that stuff. I worked at a place called Thrive, awesome dispensary. If anybody watches this and is in Las Vegas, Thrive is, in my experience, is the best dispensary. They always talk about Planet 13, and I'm sure it's great. It's right there on the strip, probably. But I've also heard it's the Walmart of dispensaries. And if you're from somewhere that's not the United States, or you're not super familiar with the concept of Walmart because of some reason, that means that it's gigantic, it has everything you need, but it's sketchy in ways you don't expect. That's kind of like this is weird. It's also a little gross, but it's also not, if you need a Walmart, you go to a Walmart. You know what I mean? Like if you get a Walmart across the street from a Target, you can get a lot of things done at Target. But man, it really is like a situation where man, I gotta go to Walmart. Like you just know. Like if you need solo cups, you can get them anywhere. You can get Dollar General. But if you need a folding table, like a black folding table, 5 minutes from when you have to get to an event, 5 minutes from now, and you are heading down. You're in Vegas, right? You're going to one of the casinos for an event, and you're like, oh crap, I forgot my table at home. And you have like 100 necklaces you gotta sell. Like my mom, she does resin, and she does stained glass, and she does art. She does art. She's really good at it. She writes stuff like that. I have this dragon. I'll show you guys one day. It's on my I don't know what to call this thing. It's like a storage cabinet thing, but it's a dragon I've had for my entire life, as far as I'm concerned. And it came from one of these art shows. I love those little art shows. Like people like it's hand sewn. It's very much a unique. Actually, I'll show you right now because I'm like, why not? I've got my notebook in hand. I'm not in any hurry. I'm an hour in. Like I'm obviously not gonna keep a lot of people, but I figure it's YouTube. We're used to podcasts. We've been through COVID. We get how Zoom works. Like we can sit in front of a camera. We get two-screen media now. So like I trust y'all. This is as much now that it's out there. Once you get this and it's uploaded, this is yours too. Like I am. I've uploaded the entire thing unedited. The only thing I've done is paused it. So up to that point, and I've not set any permission changes. I've only written a description and a title. I love those two things. Those are both fun. I've figured out what I like to do right now. It'll probably change in the future, but right now, I don't really feel like doing much else with this. I don't want to like edit. I don't really want to create shorts. So if there's a thing that's community done that can just be done like for fun, like you like these videos and you want to do like little, because I know Cliff Cash, he did that with his stand up over a year ago now. I'm really hoping he's got a new stand up coming soon because I'm up here in Maine. And I know he was in Florida not too long ago, but if he comes up to DC or Maine way again, I would love to like go to one of his stand up shows. But also, I would love to go to one of his rallies because he's really good at getting a rally organized. He's I think I don't know if he's officially like affiliated with any of the No Kings or like that, but he's got his own thing. And I that's actually why I got myself to Maine. I was in Las Vegas. I was working at the dispensary and I gotten a little bit. Oh, I was not too long after the whole Drake Kendrick beef was at the Super Bowl. That was so cool. That was getting to like see Kendrick come on the stage with the like I don't know music notation, but to see a lowercase a and is like, I hope it's real. Like I hope that's actually diamonds because that is so much better if it is. Like it's funny if it's costume jewelry, like 'cause like it would be okay. Honestly, if I'm talking to him as a human being, I'm hoping it's fake. I'm hoping the diamonds are real and you can reuse them. I'm hoping the rest is fake, like they're kind of like somehow glued on. But as somebody who loves like that necessary pettiness, like when you can be petty and the person deserves it, oh, it's so satisfying. And so I'm hoping in my heart of hearts that little like pissed off dragon that sometimes shows up because like in my heart my soul is the dragon is a dragon. It's a good dragon. It's a happy dragon. It's a rainbow dragon. If you look at my room, it's very rainbowy. It's not a red dragon or a blue dragon. It's a rainbow dragon. I honestly think of my dragon as being a chameleon, as being a shapeshifter. Like if we think of evolution as a concept, not necessarily literally, but as a concept in general, and we think of if we were to add magic back into the equation, let's say magic was here originally, and like if we align that with different forms of mysticism, it shows up. It feels accurate. Like look at I haven't read any of the Hindu text. I prefer saying Sana, uh, but Dharma, the Sanatana, Sanatanana. I always get it pronounced wrong, but it's Dharma. It's Hinduism. I know I don't know if it's. I had a friend. I only got to meet. Only got to spend a little bit of time with her. She was visiting Maine, but she was from India. She is from India. I hope she's still traveling and wandering. I hope she sees this. That'd be kind of cool. I feel so bad I don't remember her name, but she was really nice. I have a mala that we were talking about. We were doing, I can't remember what it's called. There's a type of singing where you sing and it's a calm response, but it references uh, entities, beings from the Hindu side of things. I know one of them was about Durga. I know that Parvati got brought up. I know Shakti is important in a lot of those things. But for me, I know I briefly brought up this, but so I have a mala, and we were talking about, we were doing one of the songs. I was like, hey, I know some of these. She was asking if anybody had a mala because it has 108 beads, and 108 matters for of various uh, belief systems and faiths and mystic and occult practices. Because I don't not believe anything, because I think they're all connected, and it's this interesting overlapping. It's that oh, how much space do I have left? Oh, let's see. What is my phone saying? Let's see how much space